All right, continuing where I left off. I had just finished making my table. All right, and as you can see, if I fill in my X column, it fills in the Y column for me. So in the directions you only go 0 through 4, I'll just add 5. Look, it does it for me. All right, but you only have to go 0 through 4. Okay? And if you look, I have to zoom out so that we can get that high, but it plots the points for me too when I do that. And if you want to see what the, notice how this is the point 1, 5. Well, if I click on the point, it even labels it for me 210, 315, and 420, or the point 0, 0. Okay, it labels them all for me. You don't have to do that though, but sometimes that helps with visualizing it. And I'm going to make a table now for this one as well. So again, I just click on that row, hit the plus sign in table, and again I just put X in this column, and then Y is equal to 1/4 X, so I'm going to put 1/4 X right here. And again, the directions say where X is between 0 and 4. So I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it graphs that for me. Or it plots those points for me and it fills out the table for me, which is nice. So I would be done technically up to this point. All right. And the way that you would turn this graph in is I'm going to sign in because I have an account. Okay. So it's easy for me to sign in. I've already created my account. Okay. So I'm going to title it, I would just hit this, and then I'm going to go the way that if you do create an account and you title it, I'm just going to go name, so Mr. Anderson, and then the name of the activity is direct variation and rate of change. You click that, hit save, and now it's titled. All right, and then I want you to hit share. That's this button right here with the little right arrow. And then you'll notice that there's a link you can copy. So I want you to hit copy. And then since I'm the teacher in our Google Classroom, I can't show you from our classroom, but I can show you in another classroom. So I know when you guys are submitting assignments that you get taken to a page that looks like this, where you have this option over here and it says add or create. The way you would do it is you would just hit that, and then I want you to hit link. And then when you hit link, that link that you just copied from Desmos, you can hit right click and then paste, or Control V, that'll also paste, and then you'll hit add link, and then you can mark as done, and then it will then I can see it, and then I can see your graphs. Okay, that's how you turn it in. But there's another part on the assignment down here that just has to do with discussion questions. And there's two ways you can do this. You can answer all these questions on a Google Doc and then also submit that into your assignment along with the graph from Desmos, or you can join the Zoom call on Wednesday and discuss it with me. All right, and then you don't have to turn any paper in. All right, discussing it with me, I'll mark down that you were there, and then that proves that we had a discussion. Okay, and that's what I'm strongly going to encourage all of you to do, because I think a lot more interesting discussion can come out of people or students and you and I also discussing it, because that's where we learn, is we learn from having discussion with lots of different people and hearing everybody's ideas. That can be really interesting. Okay, and the questions are, what things do all the tables and graphs have in common? How are they different? How does the constant of variation affect the graph? And remember, that's the number in front of the X. So like my constant of variation in this graph would be 3. How does that affect it? How would you, is there a way to predict the steepness of a line? So if you're looking at one of these equations, how can you predict how steep it's going to be? And how does the negative, so notice how 3 of these have negatives, how does that seem to affect the graph? All right, these are all like things that you observe. So notice how I say there isn't really an answer key to these questions. All right, these questions are what you observe. What do you think? Okay, I want to hear what your opinion is on this stuff. Again, you could either submit a Google Doc, but I'm going to strongly encourage you to join the Zoom call. Then you don't have to submit a Google Doc, and we can have a discussion.